Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's discussion about disaster preparedness with the Louisiana Department of Insurance. Our conversation could not be timelier due to the current weather impacting Louisiana. We're 17 days into hurricane season and we have a rainmaker headed our way. Shreveport has already experienced flooding this week. But I want you to take a moment and remember back to a time when you went through a significant weather event. What did you do to prepare in advance? Were you as prepared as you needed to be? And what did you learn? And what would you do differently? Preparation isn't just helpful, it's everything, especially for us in Louisiana. I'm Denise Botcher, State Director for AARP Louisiana, and we're so glad you're joining us for this important conversation on disaster preparedness in partnership with the Louisiana Department of Insurance. Here in Louisiana, we know preparedness isn't just about hurricane season, it's about being ready year-round, whether it's storms, flooding, power outage, or other emergencies. Taking steps now can make all the difference for your safety, your home, and your peace of mind. Today, we're here to share practical information and trusted guidance to help you prepare before disaster strikes and maintain that preparedness, better understand your insurance coverage, and know where to turn when you need help. Before we begin, just a quick note, today's discussion is for informational purposes. For questions about your specific policy, we encourage you to follow up with the Louisiana Department of Insurance or your insurance provider directly. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our guest. We are honored to be joined by Commissioner Tim Temple, Louisiana Commissioner of Insurance. Commissioner Temple, thank you for being here and for your continued leadership and helping Louisianians stay informed, protected, and prepared. Commissioner Temple, I'll turn it over to you.
Good morning, Denise. And look, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak to your AARP members and my fellow citizens here in Louisiana. You know, hurricane season is here. You may have heard that meteorologists are predicting a below average season this year. But as I'm sure you all know, no matter how many storms are predicted, it only takes one to make it a bad season. That's why the time to prepare is now. I urge you all to be insurance ready by reviewing your policy, discussing potential out-of-pocket costs with your agent, and keeping your agent's information handy in case you need to file a claim. Looking for all that information after an event is the worst possible time to do that. Also, be sure to take advantage of the Louisiana Department of Insurance resources, which you can find on our website at ldi.la.gov. We've recently updated our Storm Resource Center as well. There you'll find streamlined information for not only how to prepare for a storm, but also how to navigate the claims and recovery process if disaster strikes you. Please download the LDI Connect app on your smartphone or tablet for easy access to resources like Storm Resource Center and educational consumer videos. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and Nextdoor as Louisiana Department of Insurance. And we are on Instagram as Be Insurance Ready LA. Unfortunately, I must also encourage you to stay alert for potential insurance and contractor fraud, especially if a storm hits and you have to file a claim to repair your property. There are some simple things that you can do to avoid being scammed. First, get bids from multiple sources. At least 3 if you can. Make sure the contractor is licensed and insured. Ask for proof of insurance. You can confirm the contractor is insured by asking for their license number, then visiting the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors website and using their contractor search tool. Their website is lslbc.gov. Also check and ask for and check for references. Avoid doing business with a company that demands full payment up front, especially cash payments. Most reputable contractors only require 10 to 25% down payment. And always get a written contract. If you suspect fraud or have questions about a contractor's license or complaint history, please get in touch with us by calling us at 1-800-259-5300 or through the ldi.la.gov website or the LDI Connect app. Before I finish up with today, as you mentioned earlier, Denise, we are about to experience some potential flooding events. We have a lot of heavy weather coming through. Lots of rain is forecast for South Louisiana, not just South Louisiana, but all of Louisiana. So I would encourage everyone that's listening to make sure and review your flood policy now. You can best do that by calling your insurance agent and asking them to update you on how to file a claim, what your policy limits are. I mean, now is the time again to be insurance ready. You can best do that by reaching out to your agent and giving them a call. Now, before I turn it over to my Deputy Commissioner of Consumer Advocacy and Diversity, Ron Henderson, which I think you all know, I'd like to thank Denise and the AARP Louisiana for co-hosting with us today. And I'd like to remind you that we're here to serve you, to answer your questions, and most importantly, we're here to help you be insurance ready. Thank you, Denise.
Thank you, Commissioner Temple, for giving us all of those pointers. I like that, be insurance ready, right? And that means doing that today. So you've really set the stage for today's discussion. And so now we're going to move into the heart of our conversation today. We're pleased to welcome Ron Henderson, Deputy Commissioner with the Louisiana Department of Insurance Office of Consumer Advocacy and Diversity. Ron brings a wealth of knowledge, experience in helping consumers understand their rights, their coverage, and how to take proactive steps to protect themselves and their families. So Ron, thank you so much for joining us today, and I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Denise. And I would like to also thank AARP for hosting this event with us. I think it's very important, especially now we get in the heart of restarting hurricane season, and most appropriately today when we're getting all of this bad weather coming through Louisiana. So this is a very timely event to have today. So let's get started. This is a disaster preparedness forum. You guys get to take a look at what we need to do to prepare for a disaster. And preparation for disaster is not the day of the disaster. It is getting ready prior to. We're forecasting a lower than usual hurricane season, but that doesn't stop us from having all these other events: tornadoes, windstorms, rain, a lot of rain, all the things that happen when we live in Louisiana. Right? Next slide, please. So, mission statement of the department. I don't want to read it to you. We can go to the next slide. So, this is the Louisiana LDI Connect app. It works on Google Play. It works on Apple. This app will help you connect with the Department of Insurance. We'll push out tons of information on what's going on if there's a natural disaster, what's happening with the Department of Insurance, press releases, alerts, weather updates. All those things are going to be contained on this app, which will be pushed to your cell phone at all times. So don't be remiss. Grab this app. It's great to help you to understand what's going on with the weather and what's happening in the insurance world. Next, please. All right, hurricane season is usually June 1 to November 30th. We have had all these major hurricanes: Katrina, Rita, 2005, 2008, Umberto and Ike, 2020, Laura, Delta, Zeta, 2021, Ida. So we're going to have a lower than normal season. That's what the forecast is. But as the commissioner said just a minute ago, we live in Louisiana. We're going to have storms. Things are going to happen, and we need to be prepared. Next slide, please. So again, we have to be prepared. Let's, with the commissioner's edict of be insurance ready. These are some things you need to do. Get a kit, make a plan, stay informed, use your local media outlets. Go to getagameplan.org. If you have need critical health information and human services available to the community, dial 211. It gives you an opportunity to gather all those resources in one place. Next, please. So this is one of the thing that I always want to stress to people. You have a contract between the insurance company and the insured, right? It is a legal contract. Everyone has things that they need to do when an event occurs, and it causes damage, right? I always say the insurance company understands they understand what's in the contract. They wrote it. It's incumbent upon you, the consumer, the citizen, the person, the business, to read that contract and understand how it works. If you can't read that contract or you don't have someone to help you read it, make sure you talk to your agent. They're the first line of defense. They're not there just to take your payment. They're there to help you to kind of go through that policy, make sure it works for your needs, and you have a common understanding of how that policy gets you paid in the event of a loss, right? A lot of things you want to do, make sure you trim your trees, clean your gutters, plan have materials on hand to board up windows. You know, hurricane season, we've been through them all. I've been through since Hurricane Katrina. It is a lot to be prepared for if you do it all at one time. But if we start early, we will have time to make sure that you can get things done. Check your policies now. This is the time to do it. Blue skies, well, they're kind of gray right now today, but blue skies. Check your flood insurance. Make sure you know what your deductibles are. Have your policies for both your homeowners and your auto. What happens if your car floods, right? That you need to know what's going to happen, how it's going to work. If you have to evacuate, you need to take all of that information with you. So good rule of thumb, put it in a Ziploc bag. Ziploc bag floats. Next slide, please. When you make a plan, make sure you have your escape routes. All right. Evacuation plans. Your out-of-state contacts. Give people your contacts so we can know, our family member will know where you're going, where you're supposed to be, who to call, where you're headed. Make your phone list. What's the number and name of your insurance company? What's the name and number of your electric company? Who's the most important people you need to call? If you're going to be in a meeting with family or meet up with family, where's going to be your meeting place? How are we going to get there, right? God forbid you lose a kid in all the melee, 1-800-THE-LOSS helps to find missing kids. Medical information, have all of your medical information, doctors, pharmacy, veterinary for your pets. These things are really important. And I know my pet, my little dog, Winston, is like a part of the family that my wife made me buy. So next slide, please. So build a personal go bag, right? Copy of your insurance policies. Make sure your medical cards are there. Water, food, birth certificates, any type of deeds, anything that's going to show ownership of your home. Credit cards, make sure you have cash. Whenever we're going places and the power lines, power grids are down, you want to have cash, right? Flashlight, AM, FM radio, batteries, power banks, all those things are important, but you need to craft that bag for you and your family. What do you need the most? Are you going to need medications? Are you going to need a list of pharmacies in a certain area? As anyone on any type of specialized medication that needs to be refrigerated, those things are very, very important when you have to evacuate. Next slide, please. This is very important for you pre-storm. NAIC Home Inventory app. This app will help you to go around your house and take pictures, videos, and serial numbers of all items you have in your house. I like to tell people, you take this app and you go through each room, take pictures of the furniture, take pictures of those TVs, take pictures of that radio, take pictures of all the nice, beautiful things you bought for Christmas, birthdays. Just because I know all these nice, wonderful sales are going along, people are buying new refrigerators, things of that nature. Take pictures, get the serial number. It will categorize it by room. So if something happens, you already have the pictures available. You have the before, and all you have to do is send the after, right? This is what I had before. These are the serial numbers. I know what it costs. And these things help you prepare prior to the event happening. It is a very good app. I have it. I made sure all of my family members have it. Most of my friends have it. Go out and get this. It is a free app from the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, we really encourage you to go out and start getting that inventory early, especially now. I know the holidays have just passed. People bought those new TVs. You upgraded from that 32-inch. Now you're in the 50-inch or the 75-inch. You want to make sure you have a record of all those things that you bought. And when it's time to replace them, that the insurance company also has a copy of that. Next slide, please. Most expensive mistakes, not knowing your deductible. If we get a named storm, there's going to be an issue of deductible. How much is your deductible? Is it 2%? Is it 5%? Is it 4%? Most deductibles range between 2 and 5% for named storm. Not knowing what's covered. The most important part of an insurance policy, and I've always believed this personally, is what's not covered. So I encourage people to go to the back of the policy, find out what's not covered first, and then go back and read that policy to make sure that you have all the coverage that you need. Make sure you talk to your insurance agent so that you understand what's not covered. For example, flood insurance is not covered in a homeowner's policy commonly, right? It's a separate policy. Not having an inventory checklist, getting in there and going, oh my gosh, I got to the house, everything's in disarray, half of the stuff's missing, or it's flooded, or it's all mashed together. How do you discern what's what? By having that inventory checklist in advance, having those pictures in advance, you have now freed yourself up to clean up without having to worry about what's going on, and what's going to be paid for, and how much stuff you lost. You know where it is, you know what you lost. Next, please. So after a loss, contact your agent or insurance company. Make reasonable repairs. What does that mean? If it's a hole in your roof that you can get up and mitigate your damages, which means stop that rain from getting in, you get up there and do it when it's safe. Don't just leave a crash window out. Put a covering over it. Those are things that are going to be in your contract. Your contract is going to say you have to mitigate damage when at all possible, meaning you have to make sure that thing is secure, and because that continuation of loss, just leaving it open, is going to be a problem. Now, there's going to be some times when it's impossible to put a whole tarp over a whole roof. It's just not going to happen. But if it's a small hole, or it's a small window, or it's a window, something that you can secure, then you have to do that. Keep your loss use records if you have to evacuate. Make sure you keep food receipts, hotel receipts, fuel receipts, things that you have to have in order to get reimbursed if you had to evacuate. All right. If you have to do temporary repairs, keep those receipts. Make sure that you categorize them and have them available for the insurance company when they ask for them, because they will ask for them. And you have to send your proof of loss to your company within 180 days for a catastrophic event, or 60 days for all other covered perils. Right. Right now, we're kind of talking more about hurricane or disaster events, but make sure you send that to a proof of loss to your company. If you do not send the proof of loss, the company will not start working on your event. Next slide, please. Before hiring a contractor, you only hire a licensed and insured contractor. Everything should be in writing. We don't make oral agreements, because this, for most people, their homes, their largest single purchase. Always have it in writing, right? You have to read the contract. You don't know how many stories I've had, especially after Hurricane Laura, where these contractors are going out saying, oh my God, you need a new roof, I can help you. Here, just sign all these papers. And they sign away their claim. The person signs away their claims, right? Or they sign something to help so that that contractor can hire a lawyer on your behalf without knowing. And this is a problem, right? You can always verify those contractors. You go to the contractor licensing board or call 1-800-256-1392. Go to the contractor's licensing board, make sure that contractor is licensed and insured before you let them onto your property. If they're going to send somebody, make sure you get a copy of their license plate, a copy of their license, a picture of the person who's supposed to be coming out to do the work. It makes sense. You have to protect yourself. There are a lot of people out there that want to make a profit off of our misery, and we don't want that to happen. The Attorney General's office and this Department of Insurance is very, very bullish on making sure insurance fraud is prosecuted to the full extent of the law. It's one of the things Commissioner Temple has really stressed here in the department, making sure that we deal with those fraudsters and get them out of play so they can't hurt any of the citizens of Louisiana. Next slide, please. So if you get price gouging, fake official reports, contact the license board, make sure, again, photographic documentation, take pictures, understand what you're dealing with, know who you're calling. If you think that there's price gouging going on, make that phone call, 1-800-351-4889. Know who your officials are going to be. If you have an insurance company that's supposed to send someone out to do an adjustment, ask that adjuster to show you their ID badge. Right? There's information that they have to give you in hand that allows you to understand who they are, what they are, and what purpose they are on your property. If someone just comes up out of the blue as a contractor and say, hey, I can do this with your house. If you didn't call them, I wouldn't talk to them. Right? And there's always going to be somebody out there that's going to say, hey, look, I think I can really help you. So make sure you're doing the best for you and your family. And that's just not signing up with the first Joe Schmo that shows up and says, hey, I got a hammer. Next, please. So this is one of the big pushes we're pushing here in Louisiana Fortified Home Program. If you live in, there's 26 coastal parishes, coastal zones that we're pushing. You can get a fortified roof put on your home with a grant. That grant is up to $10,000. Anything over the $10,000, the consumer is responsible for. But you can go to our website. You apply for the grant, register, apply for the grant. If you win the grant, then you apply, update all of your information, hire a contractor, hire someone to come out and do the inspections, and then you will get a fortified roof. It is worth it. If you live in South Louisiana and areas that are within that zone, you're looking at up to a 29% decrease in the premium for your wind and hail portion of your insurance policy, which is probably most of a policy down in South Louisiana. All right. It is a very good program. To date, I think we've put on about 5,000 roofs. There's been about a good 12,000 put out throughout the state by people who are doing it on their own. So it is a great program. It's a great way to build a home and put a new roof on and to protect yourself. Because one of the things you're going to figure out, if you keep the roof on, you keep the stuff dry. You keep the stuff dry, you don't have to file a claim for it. You don't need to get new furniture. You don't have to buy new floors. You don't lose all your electronics. So that $30,000 claim or $15,000 claim for a roof now doesn't turn into a $150,000 to $200,000 claim. It makes a difference, right? Next slide, please. If you have had a roof put on recently, within the last 3 to 5 years, and it wasn't fortified, have a wind mitigation survey done. It may lower your insurance costs if you meet all the criteria. The QR codes for the survey form, the authorized surveyors, and the discount guide. There is a guide that says, hey, this is what the discount is supposed to be if you meet all of this criteria. And it's not it's mandatory, all right? They have to give you the discount. If you put that new roof on that last 3 to 5 years, making sure you get a wind mitigation survey so you can get a proper discount is paramount. It can help you, help your family. Make sure you tell your friends. Let's get a handle on what we need to do. Make sure that you are receiving proper discounts for the work that you've put into getting your roof done. All right. Next slide, please. So any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to Louisiana Department of Insurance, 1-800-259-5300, Louisiana Department of Insurance, LDI.la.gov. Go to our LDI app. If you get it on your phone, you can shoot us messages. Someone will answer you from our office. And I'm going to give you my information. It's ron.henderson at LD as in dog, I as in ice cream, .L, A as in apple, .gov. That is my email address. I will answer that. I have a 24-hour rule. Or you can give me a call in my office, 225-219-4775. The Department of Insurance wants to make sure that you are insurance ready. If you have questions about your policy, please do not hesitate to reach out to us.
Thank you so much, Ron. This was incredible information. I want to let you know I downloaded the LDI Connect app. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
So I was kind of perusing through that while you were talking. And so I have a couple. So this weekend, I am reviewing my policy. We do this every year. I'm going to review my policy, make sure I understand what those deductibles are, making sure that if anything happens, I have the ability to get cash to get that deductible going. But my question is, so when you're doing your home inventory, so many years ago, because I need to update that too this weekend, I did a video just walking around the house and talking. Would that be enough proof of loss, or does it need to be, as you talked about, like having the serial numbers and being like really detailed? I understand that it's probably best to be more detailed, but in terms of doing that,
it's probably better to be more detailed than less detailed, but having a video camera showing all of the stuff that you have in your house should suffice. And when you talk about proof of loss, insurance companies determine what proof of loss is, right? And some of them require a form to fill out, then the pictures and whatever. Some companies just say, hey, just have your contractor send us a list and it'll work that way. Satisfactory proof of loss, which is the thing that I find most interesting in Louisiana, there's no definition of satisfactory proof of loss in Louisiana or anywhere else for that matter. So your insurance company kind of takes a look, and when you're updating them with information, they'll go, okay, they've done the adjustment, they've given you a number, and now the clock starts to run for them on having to make payment. And then you can make your supplements as you find things. And the thing I tell people a lot about is when that adjuster comes out, that first adjustment, 99.9% of the time is incorrect. Not because the adjuster's not good at their job, not because they're trying to screw the consumer over. It's because they can't get behind the walls. They don't know if the water that got behind the baseboards and now there's rot or dry rot or mold or all the other things. That's when that contractor comes in and goes, okay, this is what you guys gave us and this is what we found. Let's get something better. And my light just turned out. This is what we found, company. This is our supplement, right? So even on that adjustment from the company, that is not the end. It's filing those supplements, making sure people understand that first adjustment is 9 times out of 10 is not going to be 100% correct.
So because I do understand that having an inventory of contents, right, is something separate than getting you back into your home, restoring it back to its original state, correct? And so it's important to have both of those. I will say we have some older adults after the 2016 floods here in the capital region. They experienced having the insurance companies sent new adjusters every single time they came out. And so there was a lack of consistency. And by that third day, when your home is destroyed and you're exhausted and you are figuring out how you're going to do this, you're desperate, but yet frustrated, right? So what do folks do if they aren't getting what they think they deserve from their insurance company?
First thing, you can file a complaint with the Department of Insurance. I'm going to tell you a quick story, and it is indicative of what happens here in Louisiana. Down in Port Fourchon, after Hurricane Zeta, person lost a lot, right? So I'm sitting, I'm talking to her, and I'm going, and she looks kind of disinterested. And I say, okay, well, how's it going? I mean, you look like you got everything under control. She said, yeah, I just hired an attorney. It's like we're 7 days post event. What do you mean you just hired an attorney? And she says, yeah, he's going to take care of it all for me. We have other means to get there. Attorney should be your last resort. I mean, everything else fails, then you go to the attorney. The LDI can help you with the complaint. We will go to the company and go, okay, this is the issue. Tell us what's going on. Give us the records, and then we'll communicate that back to the consumer. There's also mediation programs. There are things to help you before you have to get to an attorney. It's important that consumers understand that. And look, I'm an attorney. My wife's an attorney. My daughter just graduated from law school, so it's a family business. But you don't need an attorney when everything first happens. You try to make sure you talk to the department, get our take on it, and we'll tell you, well, look, you may need to go to an attorney. You're at the end of the rope with us, right?
Talk to us a little bit about renters. So what should renters know about preparing?
Renters need to know pretty much the same thing as a regular homeowner, except that renter's insurance only takes care of things inside that apartment that the renter owns. All right. If that renter has insurance, it's going to cover 9 times out of 10 that renter's insurance is going to cover flood insurance also. So that renter is going to have all their things that may happen. It may cover loss of use where they have to evacuate. I had one after Hurricane Laura. This lady was pushed through. She was with Red Cross, and I'm sitting down in the convention center. She gives me her policy. I said, "You have loss of use on your renter's insurance." She said, "I don't know what that means." I called the insurance company, and they got her a hotel room that same night. Pulled her out of the shelter and put her in a hotel room because she had loss of use. So that's the important part of reading that insurance policy and understanding how it works. And people, for the most part, when they think insurance policy, they think deck page, right? Deck page is your outline. It's your who, what, when, where. The how is in the policy information. That 26 to 36 pages has the how you recover, what are your obligations, what's the company's obligation, what are your reporting requirements. Those things are in that policy. So I can tell you, you walk into a room, and especially with my seniors who've been with an insurance company 35, 40 years, who've never had to use them, and they never looked at the policy. They have no idea what it says. They just know that it's supposed to cover. And I go, "Can I see your policy?" And they hand me the deck page, and it's like 2 pages. I'm going, can't do anything with this. So reading that actual policy makes a difference. Starting off those sections makes a difference. Calling that insurance agent who's not there just to take a hamburger order and going, "Hey, show me how this works." It's very, very important because they're collecting your money.
Sure, that's right. And it's a business.
It's a business.
And I think that consumers need to understand that, you have to be an informed consumer. You have to know.
Be informed. And if you have questions, call us. Call the Department of Insurance. Let us take a look at it. I mean, the commissioner has us going out around the state doing insurance pop-ups where a person can bring their insurance policy to us, and we will go through it with them. That's one of the programs he implemented when he got here. He said, "Look, make sure we're talking to everybody in Louisiana." We've been to North Louisiana twice. We're down. We did Lake Charles. We did St. Mary Parish. We're gearing up to do St. Tammany, Livingston. We're going to go back up to Alexandria. We're going to hit every corner of Louisiana to make sure that people understand, hey, this is how you read an insurance policy. This is how it works.
That's a marvelous idea. Yeah, I like that. That's important for folks. I do want to remind for those who have joined us today, if you are a renter, and many of our older adults are renters, or live in senior apartment complexes. If something should damage that building, you still have to look at your policy to see what's included to get you placed elsewhere.
Yes.
We do have some of our volunteers with AARP were actually displaced after Hurricane Laura from their senior housing complex, and they are now permanently living in New Orleans because they could not get back into their complex and it was no longer safe for them to be there. So renters, I urge you to really take the time, if not today, this weekend, to look at your policy and see what it covers. If you have questions, give Ron at LDI a call. They can go over it with you and perhaps make even suggestions about what you need to think about and consider including in your call. So.
Also, your condo owners also. Condo owners, you gotta know, because the condo policy only covers studs out. The policy that the condo the individual buy is studs in. You have to know how that works because there's two policies. Right.
That's right. And part of the condo complex could be damaged, but yours isn't. But it's not structurally sound for you to live there.
Exactly.
Right? And that creates a very complex.
And another issue. And a lot of our seniors, they get downsizing. They're finished raising their families. They want to get to a smaller place, so they buy a condo with less maintenance. But you have to understand how those policies work in conjunction and how they work separately. It makes a difference in your recovery. The thing that people understand in insurance is that insurance policy is a way to finance your recovery.
That's right.
It keeps you from going in pocket. It's a way to finance your recovery, and it's the best way to finance your recovery. And then you get the federal intervention. Once, if a person runs out of money through their insurance, then you can go to the federal way and maybe get some extra money to take care of it. But the federal government won't touch you as long as you have insurance money sitting on the table. So you have to make those choices and understand how it actually all works.
That's right. I think it's so important for folks to know because we are in Louisiana. We're all familiar with FEMA, right? But those rules have changed with regard to repairing homes and individual assistance. All of that has certainly changed. So before I let you go, Ron, I do want to. What's the first thing people should do today or this weekend?
Today or this weekend.
Yes.
Pull out that policy. Find it. Somebody actually knows where it is. Find it. If you can't find it, call your insurance company and ask for a complete policy. Because 9 times out of 10, if you call a company asking for a policy, they're going to send you the deck page. Right? You want the complete policy so you can read all of the provisions. Then just go through it. Find out what your deductible. Your deductible is going to be listed in your deck page. But find out what your coverage is. What is coverage A? Go find coverage A in the policy, put a star next to it, and it's going to give you all the information about coverage A. What's your other structures? What are other structures? Detached garage, fence, those types of things. Okay, she shed. So what's your, and the easiest one, what's your personal property? Think in your head, if I can rip that top off and turn it over, everything that falls out is my personal property. Everything that stays attached goes with my coverage A. Right? It's simple things that you go through today, right now. Find that policy, take a look at it, try to get a read. You don't have to know it as well as I do, but then you formulate your questions. Know if it's an ACV or RCV policy, if it's an actual cash value policy, or a recovery cost policy. Makes a difference. Or replacement cost policy, excuse me. It makes a difference. You got to know what you have because that's how you recover.
Yeah, you got to know what you have, right? And word of advice to everybody. You think you'll remember? Trust me, you don't.
Not when you're panicked.
Not when you're panicking, not when there's damage, not when you're trying to take care of your family.
I think one more really quick. Don't just throw stuff out. Take pictures, put it on the curb, take pictures of everything that you have. Document. Documentation takes care of about 85% of the problems. If you have the documentation, the companies are generally going to go, okay, you have all your documentation, you took pictures of everything. make sure you get that before you start throwing stuff in the garbage or just tearing it out of the house.
So I know what I'm doing this weekend.
I'm going to go do it too.
I know. I hope everybody watching will do that this weekend too. So thank you again to the Louisiana Department of Insurance, Commissioner Temple, Deputy Commissioner Ron Henderson. Thank you for being here and sharing such incredible information. I think each time we talk, I learn something new. So thank you so much.
And we really appreciate you and AARP partnering with us on this. We really appreciate the members of AARP coming on and taking a listen. And look, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We will be here to answer questions.
Thank you so much. So for those of you who are still with us, there's one takeaway from today. It's this: don't wait. Don't wait until a storm is on the way to get prepared. So let's use what's happening today in the weather to remind us to get this done. So let me tell you what, this weekend, I'm going to review my insurance coverage. I'm going to gather all my important documents. I'm going to put it in a Ziploc bag. I'm going to create an updated home inventory. So whether it's that video, photos, get that together. You think you'll remember, but you just won't. And of course, talk to your family. Talk to those you care for, your parents, those older adults who aren't able to care for themselves. Talk to them about their plan and how they are not only getting prepared, but then staying prepared. And of course, make sure you know where to turn for help. You can always find us at AARP. We're committed to helping older adults, families, and caregivers stay informed, prepared, and protected when it matters most. So thank you for being with us today. Stay safe, stay prepared, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.